has had the pleasure of being a member of 3 Toastmasters clubs. One thing that was constant with all of them was the use of pathways and their mentoring program. Now, Toastmasters takes mentoring so seriously that in their persuasive influence path, they have an introduction to Toastmasters mentoring course. Today, Kathy will share one of her experiences as a protege with her speech entitled, Be a Protege. Please welcome the protege extraordinaire, Toastmaster Kathy Lekadou.
Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? I didn't do student teaching. Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and honored guests, that's what I was thinking my first day in my teaching career. I started in September of 1989. I had no clue what to expect. Fortunately, we didn't start teaching on the first day. The first 2 days was for classroom workshops and to set up our classrooms. Now, during one of our meetings, they gave us our schedule. And in my schedule, it showed that I was going to teach a mandatory health class to 8th graders. So I had 10 8th grade classes and 1 6th grade class. Now, how did I wind up with a 6th grade class? Well, that's because I was under a new contract in which I had to teach 25 teaching periods. And in the old contract, the older members taught only 20. So you wound up having a floating class. And besides that, I also had to do a hall duty and a cafeteria duty, and I had every 2 months to set up a bulletin board. Now, on top of that, not one of the classes were in the same room or the same floor. Now, our school had 3 floors. We had also a basement, which meant at one period I could be on the 3rd floor, then I could be in the basement, then I could be in the 2nd floor, and we had 3 minutes to get there. So my heart sank. Then after one of the meetings, a beautiful middle-aged Barbie doll walked over to me. And I could say that because people called her that. Her name was Shelly Cohen. Shelly said that I was replacing her because she was going to work at the district office in 2 months. So she said she would help me as much as she could. She also said that I would have a mentor for the year. She later introduced me to Barry Levine. They helped me in many ways. I'll share a few points. So Shelly gave me a Delaney book. If you look on your tables, I have put it so you can visualize it. It's a red binder. It has slots in it. And you had these little cards that you put the student's name and you could put the slot in. And she told me just flip the slot only if the students are absent. That way you could take quick attendance. That helped greatly. She also taught me how to grade homework without taking it home. She said when the students were doing a do now, you simply would walk over to their desk, quickly read their homework, put a check mark if it was complete or a check minus if it was half complete, and then put it in your binder. Now Barry, he helped me learn how to use my planner so that I could keep track of my lessons and where my students are and what room I would be in. He also encouraged me to use videos during my lessons. But I'm like, Barry, we don't have any elevators. He's like, oh, don't worry about it. Just get 5 volunteers, 2 to carry the TV, 1 to carry the VCR, and 2 to carry the stands. Well, I figured he knew what he was saying since he was in charge of the AV department. Now the 2 months have passed. I put in my grades. Great. Everything went smoothly. they did not portend that there would be a program change. Now I no longer taught health. I am now teaching earth science to one gifted 8th grade class and to 3 low reading class. And on top of that, I had to teach ELA, which is English Language Arts, to a bilingual class, Haitian Creole. And that's because I'm Haitian, so that's why they chose me. And I had to prepare this group to take a state writing exam. Now, did I mention I was a biology major? Now, Barry's like, don't worry about it. He says, when I started teaching, I was an English major, and they had me teach social studies, and I fell in love with it that now I have a social studies license. I'm like, okay, great. But now I'm worried because now I have to do labs. Remember all that traveling I have to do? Shelley's like, oh, don't worry about it. Just use your Delaney book. As you can see, just group them by 4s. And no matter what room they went to, they would sit in their groups. And train them and say when they have labs, they simply would take up their desk and they would face each other for labs. And then do a 25 to 30-minute lab, because our classes were 45 minutes. And then say clean up, and then they would put their chairs back where it belongs, and then they would clean up. And then you would go over the lab results the next day. Well, that helped me immensely. And there was many more things they taught me. But these few things have helped me survive for 31 years of teaching in 5 different schools. So I encourage all of you to be a protege in Toastmasters, in your career, and even in your hobbies. And we would love to see what you do in 31 years with it. Thank you.